Welcome back to the Sheffield United save here on FIFA 23. We're storming through this first season already. Thank you so much for your support on the opening couple of episodes. I very much appreciate it. Do drop the video a like and continue to ensure that you're subscribed with the notification bell as well so that you don't miss out on any more of it as we push forward towards, of course, FC24, which was not too far away now, but there's plenty to be achieved in-game before that moment comes. And HONEYMOON managed to pick up his first goal of his Sheffield United career in the Premier League, as we won by 2-1 against Aston Villa last time out. Today we'll sim Liverpool, play Fulham, sim Spurs and Manchester City. We'll have a big game away from home at Kenilworth Road against Luton Town, and then Nottingham Forest will be the final action of today before we then head into the month of December, and we're not far away from the January transfer window at all already. Of course, we have a number of the Patreon players now signed to the club that we're going to add to the loan list and then send out on loan, ultimately to then have them be signed by someone else as per the VIP tier on the Patreon. Speaking of, thank you to George, Matthew and Jamie for joining the Patreon. Very much appreciate it. That support is keeping me going as a content creator at the moment, with view levels at the level that they are right now for career mode content on YouTube. But thank you for your continued support on Patreon and on the live streams as well. Do come across and join me on Twitch. It'd be great to see you over there as well. So far this season, we're all right, actually. We're really genuinely not bad. At present, I don't have any concerns about potentially getting relegated, but it can, of course, all change. Jebison has 3 goals in 4 Premier League games. McBurney has 3 goals in 7, and outside of that, no one's really stepped up properly yet. We're obviously not using Iliman Ndiaye at the moment, and he's set to join Hoffenheim at the end of the calendar year as we head into January. So let me just make sure that Liverpool are starting their strongest possible team, which it doesn't look like they are, most certainly. And then we shall crack on with the games. Like I say, drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we can continue to pick up some very good results today. Liverpool in the box and very nearly 1-0 up with the first action of the game, which is not great. Now on the counter-attack though, John Fleck at pace. Oh my God, Jebison. We're in. Oh, is it going to cross the line? No! Virgil van Dijk rescues Liverpool from taking a 1-0 deficit with the ball trickling towards the line. Oh, so very nearly at Bramall Lane. And then they go up the other end and score a fantastic goal. Mo Salah gives the Reds, not the red and whites, the 1-0 lead. Oh, what a ball. Lovely switch. Oh, and he's beaten Trent. And we're in the box. And McBurney. If they get a second here from a free kick that he's actually supposedly inside the box, Dominic Szoboszlai doesn't miss free kicks like that. Yep, no points for us here. That's going to be 2-0 to Liverpool and game over. Let's go and play Fulham then next. Try and get ourselves over that 11-point mark. Fulham line up with Bernd Leno in goal and Babu Bassi, new signing Issa Diop and Anthony Robinson, Sasha Lukic and Joao Palhinha, Daniel James, Andreas Pereira and Willian, who's just re-signed for the club, I think, and Raul Jimenez up top. Willian signed a new contract. I think Dan James I should probably have put back at Leeds, actually, I think. But one of the transfers that slipped through the net in between saves, unfortunately. We couldn't do it. We did like over 300, but evidently not absolutely everything managed to get done in time. Basham, there is a switch on here. Tell you what, I don't know what Basham's long passing is, but he loves that switch, and he's so good at it. Ollie McBurney will drill it out wide here. Slimani has Larousse, who will float it into the middle, and Jebison with the header that unfortunately goes nowhere near goal, sadly, but it was a decent move. If I'd have maybe found a bit more space for Ollie McBurney initially, I might have tried to pull the trigger, but went with Jebison via the cross, and unfortunately wide. Here's Ollie McBurney. McBurney with the wind-up. Oh, and Leno forced into an awkward save there. We'll see with Ollie Norwood if we can maybe force him into an awkward save again. And Babu. And across here to Sasha Lukic again, into Daniel James. Can't keep up with the passing at the minute. Andreas Pereira goes for the extra pass and will regret doing so. Should have shot from there. It was a very clear goal-scoring opportunity, and they've tried to overplay that. You can't make that mistake. Will they learn from that mistake? This time there is the option to take the shot. Oh, and, well, they couldn't come much closer, could they? Down off the bar, just the right side of the line as far as we're concerned, and no goal for Fulham. Jimenez. Oh, it's a great ball over the top. James in, but oh, dear. Well, he could have let that go, Wes, to be honest. Dan James with the acrobatics. Pereira with a free kick for Fulham. Whipped well, looking for the big, giant Raul Jimenez, who got one of the worst connections on a header I think he's ever gotten. And it still nearly went in. Willian, it's opened up for him. Good save by Big Wes. Down to his left-hand side. Lahusi down the line for Jebison. There's space to get into here. It's not even Jebison, it's Slimane. There's Jebison. And still space to get into. Daniel Jebison here away from home at Craven Cottage. Tries to pick his spot. Bernd Leno makes a great save. Maybe if he keeps that low, it makes it harder for the keeper to get down to it. It's a very comfortable height for the keeper. Can we still get something from the corner? No. Wide by Ollie McBurney once more. Daniel James has got the legs to get away from Yasser Lahoussi. Cross could come in. Does! Oh, brilliant finish from Raul Jimenez. Their new main man up top. Slightly behind him, it looked. Just left that leg dangling and able to hook it into the back of the net. We'll have a look at the replay. Straight across to celebrate with his new manager. With the pace of Dan James, it's what gets him away. And was it behind? Yeah, it kind of was. Slightly behind Raul Jimenez. He had to adjust his feet accordingly. James down the line to Kevin and Babu. Into the middle again. John Egan in the way this time. Can win that header. Ben Osborne's done well. Palhinha wins it back, however. Jimenez going for a whirly from distance this time. Good save down low by Wes Fotheringham. Not the first time we've had to call on him this game, let alone this season, to make an important save for us. It keeps us in the game at just one. Wilson to Issa Diop. Oh, I mean, where's the defence gone? Where has the defence gone? Ball played in behind, and they're all just stood looking at the Fulham men in behind them. That is the most obvious cutback you will ever see in your life. How wooden and rigid is that defensive line? They're just absolutely nowhere. Joao Palhinha makes it 2-0 Fulham, and our early season good form is starting to wobble. We might have gone through our honeymoon period at the Premier League level for the first time in a couple of years, and we might find ourselves in a bit of a rut early doors, and perhaps our joyful expectation after a few games of not really being involved in a relegation battle at all might have been drawing a conclusion a bit too early. This might well still be a struggle to the end of the season to try and stay in the division. Anthony Robinson picked off by Sander Berge. Quickly forward is what's needed. Quickly forward is not what happens. And it will be a 2-0 defeat or worse here at Craven Cottage. It will be a 2-0 defeat here at Craven Cottage. Unfortunately, that is another tick to the defeat column. Fulham, a decent side, judging by last season's exploits in the Premier League, and looking to continue that upward momentum for them this season. Liverpool do still get held by Luton. 0-0 at half-time, 1-1 at full-time. And we're down to 12th now. We are still a good healthy 5 points away from the relegation zone. It was Luton that had only got 1 point previously when we last looked. Now they have themselves 6 points. Fulham were actually bottom of the table prior to that round of fixtures. Oh. Yeah, that's not gone well then, has it really? Losing to the side that's bottom of the table. And with Tottenham and Manchester City next, I think that tumble down the table might continue. Spurs, the next side to come up against us in the Premier League at Bramall Lane. James Maddison is the only new signing in their 11 as it stands. But it's a pretty decent new signing, to be completely honest, isn't it? An 85 rated James Maddison. I'm expecting him to do very well for Spurs in real life. Hopefully, though, we can keep him quiet today. Heung-min Son and Harry Kane are obviously going to be two of their biggest threats for us offensively, but you hope to keep them quiet, but you don't expect to keep them quiet. But they can't keep us quiet. Ollie McBurney gives us a goal at Bramall Lane again. The home streak for scoring continues once more. Or does it? Oh, was it 1-0 to Liverpool? Or did we didn't score against Liverpool, did we? Okay, the home streak of scoring restarts itself once more. Oh, Christ. Heung-min Son off the bar from range 10 minutes into the second half. Yeah, that was a decent strike, actually. But they haven't found a goal back yet, Spurs. This could be on the back of what was a disappointing victory against a side that I actually felt would play quite well, but evidently were bottom of the table, and that was their first win of the season against us. Now, back at home, we appear to be able to beat Tottenham. How can you lose to Fulham, but beat... Well, I mean, I guess that is quite Spursy, if we're honest. Sorry, Tottenham fans. Can we maybe find a second goal just to seal it the same way Fulham did? So far, no, but there is still time. Oh, my Lord, we actually have scored again. Ollie McBurney does make it 2 with 4 minutes to go. Unbelievable, Jeff. Sheffield United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. We're going to get victory. Is it by 2 goals to 0 or 2 goals to 1? It's 2 goals to 0. Ollie McBurney at the double against the Spuds. Luton draw 2-2 with Fulham, and will certainly take that result. Fires us back into the top half, albeit potentially briefly with games in hand below us, but still absolutely thrilled with that. And Manchester City next. Oh, he's off. Our first Patreon player leaves the club for his loan spell that will subsequently become permanent. A loan to buy, a mandatory departure. We say goodbye, Sir Jordan Forbes, who was a goalkeeper in the last save. Now a midfielder, I want to say. A centre mid. He's off. Tutty bye, sir. Enjoy your journey. We'll update the Patreon spreadsheet accordingly. And that is our first departure from the Patreon. He's gone, sir. Up for us next, a very difficult Manchester City game. This one away from home, rather evidently. No new signings in their starting 11, although they do have Mateo Kovacic on the bench. Former Chelsea midfielder, of course. Joao Cancelo still in their starting lineup, although in real life he is now heavily rumoured to be going to Barcelona. But it's going to be the certain Norwegian up top that we need to keep our eyes on in the majority here today, I'm sure. City a side that either batter you or get battered. Everything but the final ball for us so far in this one. City have had the final ball a couple of times, but haven't yet had the shot that goes in, was the next part of my sentence. I don't get to finish my sentence. Erling Haaland has finished it for me. Manchester City 1, Sheffield United 0. And 2! 5 minutes into the second half. Erling's now fully warmed up. The left foot is well oiled and has smacked them into a 2-goal lead. Holy moly, Bernardo Silva from range, 3-0 Manchester City. Remember when I said you either batter them or get... Well, they either batter you or you batter them? They're battering me. That's 3-0, and this certainly is how you would expect this to be played out in real life. Welcome to the Premier League, Sheffield United. This is the calibre of scene we're going to have to try and rise our level to if we're to challenge for anything domestically in this save. This season, not even going to happen or even come anywhere near it. But given 3 seasons, maybe we can challenge for an FA Cup or potentially a Premier League title, because it is FIFA, of course, not real life. We hope so, but we'll wait and see how the team grows. At the minute, we've got those real life players in there, a number of which are ageing and won't grow that much, so certainly are obvious candidates for replacement. Sheffield United, as I record this, have announced the signing of Austin Trusty, the centre-back from Arsenal. We will look to do that transfer in this save when we have the opportunity to do so. He is still on loan at Birmingham in this save, unfortunately. He was another one of the transfers that slipped through the net when we were updating everything. So we will have to wait till next season to sign Austin Trusty, but sign him we shall. And after this international break, as we send another Patreon player out on loan, this time it's Will Hillier, Again, a player that was a goalkeeper that's now transitioned to outfield. He's going to Girona in Spain for 6 months. And Rob Chappell, also La Liga bound, going to Rayo Vallecano. Rob, a right back, I believe, although he might have changed actually to be a striker. I had a number of players that actually changed their position in between the RTG save and this one. So it's going to take me a little while to get caught back up on that. But for the time being, that is a handful of players from the Patreon now that are on their way. Loan to buy to Burnley for Jordan. And then I think those two were both just loans, not loans to buys. But they are now done. For those that aren't aware, I have a Patreon to help financially support the stream and the YouTube content. And there is a VIP tier where you guys can have your own created player in my save. And we track your career throughout the course of that save. If it's something you'd be interested in, then by all means have a look. But of course, I can't add you in mid-save. So if it is something you might be interested in, then by all means wait until FC24. But subtle plug, I guess. On paper, these two, by a margin, the worst teams in the league. But can they both stay up this year? Luton in the relegation zone. Nottingham Forest, our next opponent's just outside it. Ourselves and Burnley, the other two promoted sides, comfortably away from the relegation zone. But we've lost to a side that was at that time bottom of the table. Luton at the minute are 19th. So we can't rule any sort of result out in any game, really, can we? Given the experience we've had so far this season. A narrow defeat to Manchester United. A win against Tottenham Hotspur. A defeat to bottom of the table Fulham. A battering off Manchester City. Good result against their really decent Aston Villa side, albeit with 10 men. You can't call anything in the Premier League. I think McBurney's shaken off. He's knocked out. I'm going to use the support here. You see Sander Berge there on the far side of the box, but it's not a great ball to him. And Jaden Bogle whip this. Find a teammate. He's whipped it. And well, McBurney keeps it in. Work it into the box. And John Fleck. I mean, that was going probably out for a throw-in, to be honest. Low, looking for McBurney. Finding Fleck. Hopefully can do a bit better this time around. And does so. Low, away from his defender. Terrible cross that somehow reaches Ollie McBurney. Oh, because the referee was going to give a free kick. I mean, why have I not been able to play on there? Surely I'm allowed to take that shot. Ollie Norwood with the ball into the middle. Can we rise highest? We can't, and it'll be cleared away. One anticlimax. Or is it? No, but it also doesn't climax with a goal. Ollie Norwood delivers from the corner instead. We're up with... Oh, Sander Berge! Get there again! Sander Berge does! In front of the away fans in that far corner, we take the lead at Kenilworth Road. Sander Berge never says no. He doesn't give up. It's Anderson. Adebayo. And Panzu. Oh, brilliant ball. Good turn. Really decent save by Wes Fotheringham. Carlton Morris so very nearly scoring the equalising goal here. Chong with the delivery. Jebison will get rid of it. Good at both ends of the pitch, Daniel Jebison. He's doing his business so far this year very well indeed, and actually growing quite nicely too. Up to 67 rated now, Daniel Jebison, with potential of 79 by default. He certainly could be, with dynamic potential to kick in as well at some point, hopefully. A player that could be with us for the entirety of the save, and may well, you never know, be the man to captain the side later in his career. He's not very good at cross-field passing though, apparently. Fleck. He's going again. He's in. Surely from here. I've asked for a first-time shot there, Rian. And you've just looked at it, pal. And then shot when the keeper smothered you. That should be two. That should be game over. I'm furious with Rian Brewster. I bet Ollie McBurney would have hit that first time. Injury or no injury. I really hope Ollie McBurney's not out for too long, because I'm not sure how reliable Rian Brewster's going to be in scoring the goals that we need to stay in the division. And he very nearly had us be punished with the double whammy of missing an open goal from 5 yards and then get scored against going the other way. A number of changes made by both sides. So we try and keep the scoreline as is, and they try and change it. Berger to Baldock to Brewster. 2 minutes added on, so we can just take our time here. Play it forward where the obvious open gaps are. he says as he misplaces the pass, and get the win. A victory once more for Sheffield United. It continues to condemn Luton to a rather nasty relegation battle at the moment. We weren't necessarily the better side in that game, but all that matters is getting the result. And in this first season in the Premier League, we'll take the nitty-gritty badge performances that end in victories all day long. Rhian Brewster will want to step in for Ollie McBurney, but I think McBurney should be fit again for this next game. And indeed he is. So he will start at Bramall Lane against Nottingham Forest. We continue to sit very comfortably mid-table in this first season. Henderson in goal for Nottingham Forest. Aurier, Niakate, Felipe and Omar Richards. Midfield of Danilo holding with Foyler and Lewis O'Brien sat slightly further forward. Morgan Gibbs-White sat behind a front two of Taiwo and Emmanuel Dennis. Nottingham Forest picked up their first victory against Fulham earlier on in the episode. Let's hope that they don't pick up their second today. Gibbs-White. Lovely interception by Norwood, taking it off the toes of Taiwo, who's a player we very much enjoyed when we were at Nottingham Forest doing this exact save last year. Ollie McBurney over the top. Oh, Jebbo, it's a lovely first touch, and he's going to have the legs to get away here of Aurier. And he find a teammate, not quite, so very nearly. There were a lot of red and white shirts in there to try and find. Taiwo's done really well with that header. I was hoping he'd head that, but he's used his feet. Never mind, we've still got the ball. Quick 1-2 with Sanderberger, and forward, and in there, and through the gap. What a move this would be. Ollie McBurney looks to lift it over Dino, but he can't get the job done. That would have been an unbelievable goal. Foyler, he's got room to shoot here, and will do. Poorly. 20 minutes in, there are chances in the game, but it does feel like a bit of a scrappy one so far, with not much quality from either side on show to this point. If we can find a good ball here, looking for Jebbo ahead of the defender, then maybe we could sneak in for one more chance. That might yet still happen. Sanderberger from range. Is he good with his right foot? I think it was on target, but with minimal power, it was never really going to go in. Aurier kicked against me. And Gibbs-White. Oh, he's going to burst in the box. Great run. That finish is much better than his last. Morgan Gibbs-White, one of Forest's best players last season in the Premier League, proving to be so again this year too. 1-0 to Forest. Basham and Fleck. Aurier out of position here. Tuck it back to Jebbo. Need runners. McBurney is one of them. And Ollie McBurney can't find the target. He's furious with himself, as he may well be. Trying to bend it in the top corner, and that had... I think the official reading on it is 0 finesse from that finesse shot. O'Brien into Morgan Gibbs-White. Dennis. Oh, the reverse pass has sold me. Taiwo. What a save. No right in any game of any kind to keep that out there, Wes Fotheringham. That's unbelievable. The vision for the ball through to Taiwo in the first place, exquisite. The awareness to know that he had a man running on his right-hand side over his shoulder from Taiwo, even better. And the save trumped the lot. Still 1-0 down, though. Oh, perfectly timed. As is that. Ollie Oh my God, he kept it in. He kept it in. Jebbo took control, didn't get the shot on. Oh man, Ollie McBurney with the best chance we've created so far. And I don't think he's ever scuffed a shot worse than that in his entire career. Taiwo up the other end. Very nearly just ran straight off the pitch with it. Got a bit carried away there. He was like, I'm running, I'm going to score. Oh, I've run too far. Come on then, out wide. Ollie. Get off his feet quickly enough near Karte forward. Through ball to Taiwo was on, but they slowed it up a bit here, Forest. Arini out wide to Omar Richards. They've got Luton next in a massive fixture, Nottingham Forest, and if they can win this one and see it through, they could go back-to-back. Luton were drawing 1-1 at half-time with Manchester City at the Etihad, I think it was, as well. So a fantastic result for them if they can see that through. To get a point against Liverpool and potentially a point against City as well would be superb. It's not been Jebbo's day so far today, and that's still the case as that bobbled up as the shot was blocked off his hand as well. We've had chances to find the equaliser in this game. We've been resorting Nottingham Forest to just tame efforts from range as well, as they fail to find a way through for a second time themselves. At the minute, I don't think we're going to get a goal here. It doesn't look likely right now. Nice from Fleck. Quick turn inside. Jebison. Early. Norwood. McBurney. He's been our saviour so many times in this save already, Ollie McBurney, but not this occasion. O'Brien. Danilo. Taiwo. Again. Just a... Oh, no, as if... No! Another tame shot from range from Forest that somehow leads to their second goal of the day. Get the block on, and just couldn't get rid of it. I had pretty much nowhere to go. Doesn't matter whether I tried to pass it or thwack that. With two players stood directly in front of me, it was going to cannon somewhere. And unfortunately, it cannoned in their favour. The rebound from the shot as well. Jammy boys, Nottingham Forest. Jammy boys indeed. Remo Freuler, who missed the chance in the first half, makes up for that here and does get the second Nottingham Forest goal that will seal their victory. For every step forward we take at the minute, we do take another one backwards again. Hopefully, come the end of the season, we will have taken just enough steps forward to not have to worry too much. Jebbo! Saved by Dean Henderson. There's not really much else we can do in the latter stages of this game. Ahmed Hozic is up. I'll try and nod this down to a teammate if I can, but a hand was used. And we're going to have to resign ourselves to defeat here against Forest. That will be that for us today. He's going to have to come off here. There was literally seconds left in the game. If even that. Tenths of seconds left in the game when Emmanuel Dennis went down. And he looks in quite some serious discomfort. And from the way that that knee bent there, the way that you don't usually see knees bend, you can kind of understand why he was in quite such discomfort. That'll be the last action of the game. And Forest have won by 2-0. But at what cost? Emmanuel Dennis was very good for them in that game. They do have the capability with depth in that position to be able to cope with the injury that certainly looks like it's going to be a long-term one for Nottingham Forest. But we had chances in that game to score ourselves. Oh my God, Luton beat Manchester City by 2-1. What an unbelievable result for them. We're in 11th now then as we end the day. And the gap to the relegation zone is 7 points now. So despite losing more games than we have done anything else, we're still with a decent gap down to the relegation zone. But we've lost just under half of our games now. Which, to be fair, we've not lost any less games than Bournemouth in the relegation zone at the bottom of the table. It just so happens that they keep drawing. They drew with us, didn't they? 1-1 Bournemouth. Very good equalising goal for them. Well, it's particularly tight at the very bottom. We're just keeping our heads above water at the minute to steer away from it, but results are certainly not as consistent now as they were at the beginning of the season. And with Everton, Wolves and Brentford to come in the next episode tomorrow, there are points on offer there. But we're going to have to take the opportunity with both hands if we can. A couple of players are either thankful or disappointed with the amount of first-team football that they're getting. But, actually, first scout reports back. We might as well show you those at the end of the day. Anything from Wales. We're going to need the best of the best, really, for players to stand a chance to come in and actually do anything in our first team or around the squad. We're searching in England, we're searching in Wales thus far, and bugger all found. Not to worry. Big game against Everton next. Then it was Wolves, who were sit in 12th, and then it's Brentford, who are 16th. So, yeah, 3 very important games for us tomorrow. Very important indeed. Drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel, make sure the notification bell is ticked, and you absolutely won't miss that episode tomorrow, which is where I'll see you next.